The Colts charge forward, no fear, no doubt. Shooting and scoring, the crowd screams out. The boards rattle, the crowd's on its feet. Coach Bain has a plan that can be beat. They're the pride of Cloverdale, the Colts in blue, skating fast, hitting hard, breaking through. Battles in the corner, busting across the line, picking top corners, making saves so fine. Big Mac's a beast, big as a tree. You want a Jackson, well, we got three. Nathan's got vision, steady as a stone. He guards the blue line like it's his own home. The ice shakes, get out of your seat. Sahaj and Nate can't be beat. They're the pride of Cloverdale, the Colts in blue, skating fast, hitting hard, breaking through. Battles in the corner, busting across the line, picking top corners, making saves so fine. Poor Langley, he is nothing to cheer. Vancouver fades when the Colts appear. Ridge Meadows with no hope to win, can't imagine the trouble they're in. The roof's coming off this brand new place. The set streaks down the ice at a blistering pace. They're the pride of Cloverdale, the Colts in blue, skating fast, hitting hard, breaking through. Battles in the corner, busting across the line, picking top corners, making saves so fine. Making saves so fine.
Hello everyone, the Colts Highlight Show is back on the air. And today we're coming from George Preston Arena and we're going to see a matchup, the first tiering game of the season for the Colts against the Langley Eagles. Happened on October 2nd, as I said, at the George Preston Recreation Center. The Colts will have an addition to their lineup from last game, Mac Fiander drawing into the lineup as the Colts get closer to being fully healthy. As of now, there are only one player remaining injured and missing from today's game, Mitchell Anderson. It'll be Nate in the net getting the start for the Colts here today after Sahaj started last game. And you can see that the Colts will be wearing their blue jerseys, typically what they would wear at home, but they're wearing them here on the road today. Langley on the other end of the rink wearing their white jerseys with brown and yellow trim. With that, let's head to the first period. And it's going to be Langley that gets the first scoring opportunity this game. Off the forecheck, their player gets left alone in front, but Nate gets down to make a nice save there. So now the Colts are going back the other way. Puck in behind the net, trying to push it out in front, and then they're eventually going to get that chance. Richard Blades tips it on net, and the goalie kicks it out as Richard gets pushed away. And then the puck gets bumped down to the other end. And so the Colts are down there retrieving it from their own end, throwing it up the middle, and it hits Mac, and he's alone on a breakaway. He comes in, top corner. Great transition play and a nice pass up the ice from Orson there to give it to Mac after it was deflected by the Langley player. And the Colts have got an early 1-0 lead in this game. Colts are on the attack again, down low, forechecking. This puck's going to end up on Richard's stick in the high slot again. He throws it on net. Goalie directs it to the corner, ends up behind the net, gets thrown in front, and Richard's there again looking for it. And the Langley players are going to come in and push him into the glass. And so an early look at some contentious play, and things will ramp up as this game goes on. Off the draw, nice play there as Mac was looking for his second goal of the game. Now here's a puck that gets covered up by Nate, and you see the Langley player reaching in there with his stick, poking at it. Mac takes exception to that, so the temperature is rising here in this game, even though it's early in the game. And we'll keep an eye on how this temperature goes as the game wears on. Here's Linden in his own end, looking to outlet the puck, but he fans on it and goes right to the Langley player, and then the other clearing attempt lands on that Langley player's stick. He gets a shot on net, but a nice save, and then Nate closes the door down low, and then the players are going to come together after the whistle here. There's Mac in the middle of it again, getting tangled up with the Langley player. Looks like maybe he had hold of the Langley player's mask. And so the referee is going to send Mac to the penalty box. 2 minutes for head contact. And then with Langley on the power play, they're going to be breaking out of their own zone here. And this is going to be Noah that runs into that player. He falls down, and that's not the penalty. Watch Arjun come up late, knock that player down, and that's what the penalty is going to be called for. So Arjun to the box, 2 minutes for interference, and the Colts have to kill a 5-on-3 power play. And they do an excellent job of doing that. Here you can see the triangle compacting down low, keeping the dangerous area of the ice covered, winning battles along the wall, and clearing the puck out. So a successful kill leads to this chance. Off the faceoff, Jackson Davis gets a quick release shot there, but the Langley goalie comes across and covers it up. So here's a faceoff on the other side now, and this time it's going to come back to Liam, and he rips that shot quickly onto the net. Another similar save there from the Langley goalie. Here's Lennon trying to keep that in. He gets blocked by the Langley player, and then that's going to result in a 2-on-3 the other way. And this player sneakily shovels the puck towards the net, but Nate was ready for it and makes the save. So Colts on the attack again, and this puck ends up on Jackson Mum's stick. He pushes past the defender, goes in, it rolls off his stick. Noah thinks it's in, but the Langley defender got his stick in there and caused a disruption to that play. So it's a power play for the Colts here now, leading 1-0 late in the first period. And here comes Seth down the left side. It's a 2-on-1. He's got that player opened up, but he's going to shoot instead. And the Langley goaltender off the block here, out of play. So we go to the second, still 1-0 Colts. Power play continues into the second period. Here they are working it around, and that's going to be Jackson Anderson who steps into the slot, gets a shot there on the blocker side. Power play is now over, but the pressure continues from the Colts, and Arjun walks in and gets a very similar shot there on the blocker side. A nice save, and then Noah scoops it towards the net on the backhand, and a nice glove save from the Langley goalie. Here's Matt getting involved again. He's on the forecheck. He doesn't really hit that player very hard. Looks like just barely brushing up against him, but that Langley player takes it hard. Maybe he caught his foot on the boards or something. Goes down hard. He has to get assistance from the goaltender. So here come the Colts again on the attack, coming down the left side. Here's Tyler. He tries to go around that player, and instead it bounces right to Jackson Anderson, who rips that puck wide. Eventually it's going to end up here in the neutral zone again, and then pulling away from that player there's Nathan. He bounces it off the wall just outside of Liam's reach, and that the Langley defender handles it, but gets overwhelmed by a forechecking Tyler, and he whips that over the goaltender's glove. A good hard work goal there from Tyler, and the Colts have stretched their lead to 2-0. Here come the Colts, looking for more. It's a 2-on-2 play. The players crisscross, and there's Arjun, and he's going to use the defender as a screen, whips it at the net, save there. Remember that play for a little bit later. Here is Langley back the other way, trying to throw that puck towards the net. Eventually, it's going to end up on that player's stick in front of the net, and he jams away at it a bit, and Knox comes in. Nathan has to step in, and there's some more pushing and shoving here. Common theme of this game between these two teams. A little bit later now, here we see a 3-on-1 for Langley. Here they come in. They got a player high. They try to pass it across, blocked by Lennon. He shoots that back out, and then he has to block a shot as well. So a nice play defensively from Lennon there to block a shot and a pass on the same sequence on a 3-on-1. Colts back the other way now. There's a bowling them over at the line there, Arjun, but that is offside. And then the Langley player comes in and takes a shot at Arjun, and that Langley player is going to get the penalty there. 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct, sending the Colts once again to the power play. So here's the power play getting set up. There's a shot from Nathan, blocked by the defender. He's having trouble getting back up. Nathan whips it at the net high. It goes wide, and here's Jackson Mum at the point. He's going to put that down to Arjun. He's going to step in the middle, similar to what we saw before, and he's going to whip that at the net, and that just barely misses the post. As we look at this replay, that just skims the outside edge of the post. Power play continues. There's Jackson Davis, this time putting that across to Bryson, who throws it at the net. Rebounds there. Seth's in front, can't get control of it. It's bouncing around. Colts can't quite find it to put it to the back of the net. Here's Lennon blocking another Langley puck, and this time he's going to get control of it, and he's going to send the team the other way, 3-on-2 as he joins the rush. Seth's going to eventually give it to him, then he's going to pull to the backhand, on net, and then the rebound hops just over Jackson Davis' stick. So another good scoring chance there from the Colts. There's the Colts working in a scrum along the wall. Eventually this puck is going to come out, and it's going to get pushed to the middle of the ice where Richard tips it directly on net, and the Langley goaltender has to make a very difficult save there on the neat little redirect from Richard. And the puck's going to come back the other way, and look at that monster back check from Jackson Anderson. You love to see that commitment to the back check, and he breaks the play up. That's some winning hockey right there, folks. And then we see some more good defense as Knox and Nathan team up to break up that play. And then they send Arjun back the other way. And remember that play earlier? This time the shot from Arjun finds its way under the blocker of the Langley goaltender. And the quick break off the defensive play on the other end results in a 3-0 lead here for the Colts. Now here we see the Colts dumping the puck in, go for a change, except for Mac. He's going to be the one that puts on some pressure, goes in on the forecheck, and ends up tripping up that player. And so once the Colts can get possession of this puck, Mac's going to have to head to the box. And another PK here for the Colts. So here we see Langley working it around and eventually going to end up over to this left point man. He whips the shot through. They had a good screen there, but it looks like that's off the shaft of Nate's stick there to send it off to the corner. Langley still on the power play here, dragging it in, and there's another shot up high, and then the rebound comes off the glass fortuitously right onto the tape of that Langley player who slaps it home past Nate. Tough to get across there off that awkward rebound. And then some more discussion from the players. They are coming together and keeping this contentious atmosphere going. But it is a 3-1 game now, and here's Nathan retrieving a puck in his own zone. He's under pressure from that Langley player, but too much pressure and illegal pressure as that Langley player has a hold of Nathan's stick and gets caught by the referee, so he's off to the box. 2 minutes for holding the stick as the second period comes to an end. So we go to the third period. Colts on the power play here on fresh ice. And keep an eye on Arjun here. After he passes the puck, that player tries to come and hit him, but he stands up to it and knocks that Langley player down. And here he comes again up the wall. Again, that player tries to hit him, and look, that player there spears him, it appears, and then takes his legs out from underneath him. No call there from the referee, but the physical play seems to be ramping up, and so much so that we're going to see this illegal hit right there. Wes gets caught moving the puck up the wall. That player comes in from behind and runs him hard into the wall. He would require some assistance to get off the ice and would not return here in the third period. Hopefully he is good for next game. But that player on Langley got a 5-minute boarding penalty and was ejected from the contest, also getting the game misconduct that comes along with that penalty. So here are the Colts with a 5-minute power play. Nathan sets up Jackson Davis on the far side for the one-timer from the Draisaitl spot. The goalie makes a kick save, and then the Langley players clear it out. But the power play does continue. Coming down the right side. Eventually this puck's going to get put to front, and Richard, who's been all over the front of the net, again tips it on net. And again, the Langley goalie makes a neat save down low. This puck eventually is going to bounce to the front of the net, get held there, and eventually off to the Draisaitl spot again. And Jackson Davis with another chance at it. And again, the Langley goalie gets over there and shuts off that side of the net. The 5-minute power play is now over. The Colts were unsuccessful on that, but they do continue to have pressure. With the puck along the wall, here's Tyler having it up near the blue line. He softly puts it in there on the backhand. Jackson Mum retrieves it down low, holds on to it, goes all the way back up to the top of the ice, puts it through that defender, then is in this high slot and rips it high above the glove. And the Colts have restored their 3-goal lead. Now it's 4-1. Colts are on the attack again. Again, it's Richard coming down the right side. He's been all over this game. Goes around the defender, pushes the puck behind the net where Jackson Anderson fails to head it cleanly, but that works out well because he backhands it out front to Liam, who throws it at the net, and it's off the Langley defender trying to block it and up over the goaltender's hand, and it's now a 5-1 lead for the Colts. And with the game getting out of hand, the game is going to get a little ugly here along the wall. There you see Jackson Mum get knocked down by number 9. Number 9 chasing him down now in the corner, is going to press him up against the wall again. And as he skates away, Jackson comes back at him, and right there, that second shot gets the cross-check up high across the helmet of the Langley player. And that's going to be a call against the Colts for sure. That's 5 minutes for head contact there and a game misconduct that goes with it. So Jackson Mum is ejected from the game, and Langley now is on their own 5-minute power play after having to kill one a little earlier in the game. And here's a chance where they walk out from the corner, and there's a nice save from Nate, who stayed with it. And now here's another chance down low. Nate's got that bottom of the net covered really well. Linden comes in to get that player out of there, gets knocked down, and then gets a little shot while he's down on the ice till Nathan steps in there to prevent more from happening. The power play continues by Langley, and they're setting up along the right wall. Looking across there, they see that player back door, but instead it's going to go towards the net. Saves there, gets bounced around, and eventually that player off to the side gets it. And a nice save there, and another chance from right in front, and Nate's all over that as well. He swallows up a number of good chances there by Langley. And Langley is going to continue to swarm the net. There's a shot that gets fanned on a little bit, but Nate has to do well to make the save. And then pucks are all over the place, and eventually that player's going to come in and go after Orson. And given the score and how late it is in this game, the referee is going to have none of that. He's going to send that player off to the showers with the other players that have been ejected from this game. That's 12 minutes for unsportsmanlike, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike with a 10-minute addition to it as well. So the Colts are now on the power play with the game winding down, and they're just trying to kill off the rest of this game and get out of it safely without any more ejections, injuries, suspensions, and the like. Here's Tyler, and that's just way too soft of a backhand pass. It gets turned over to the Langley players who give and go with it, and that player sweeps around and slides it past Nate there, and it's now a 5-2 game. This game is essentially over, so that doesn't really mean anything. But the play is still going to wind down here with just a few seconds left. You see Bryson along the wall. And watch this player come up behind him and give him a cross check to send him a flying, and then come in a little later, and that looked like a kick or a knee to me. But there is no penalty on the play, and then the clock is going to wind down with a board battle along the far wall, waiting to see if that will erupt into something ugly, as this game is now over, and thankfully it doesn't. So the Colts win the first tiering game, a 5-2 victory, and off to a good start. Let's have a look at the stats for today's game. Contributions throughout the lineup. One player, Tyler, with a goal and assist with 2 points. Otherwise, a lot of players with just 1 point. And you also see there a strong game from Nathan. He had the assist. He had 5 shots on net and a +4. Also of note, Nate having 32 saves on 34 shots. So let's have a look at the combined season stats now. You see a good sign here. 13 different players with a point so far in the 2 games. And with 1 game in the books, let's have a look at the standings so far. Very early, of course. You see the Cloverdale team way down there in 8th spot, which is deceiving because they have won their 1 game, but because they didn't get their sportsmanship point in this game and the other teams have played 2 games. And that should correct itself as the season wears on here. So let's have a look at the season, specifically the schedule, the next 4 games. Next game is on Monday, October 6th, a home game at 9 p.m. against the South Delta team. And then they're back on the road against Abbotsford, but that's after the tournament in Comox. So we'll see you for that Monday night game, and then we'll be taking the show on the road to Vancouver Island. See you there.